Ooh, okay. Hello there. Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys. Over here, we make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. If I seem a little bit spaced out, I am, okay? I've been filming and here we are. Tabitha, my lovely, good morning. How are you? Great to be back. We'll talk about these cupcakes in a moment, right? Oh no, they need to cook a bit more. We'll talk about this, but this is not why we're here today. Today we're making buttercream, okay? We're back to the subject of buttercream. If it's the first time, okay, let me just clear my worktop. I can't see the chat. Where is the chat at? Bear with me. Let's get to the public chat so that I can... Okay, yes. Oh, Tabitha, how am I? I am great, thank you. I mean, I'm hanging out with you. What could be wrong with that? There's nothing wrong, and I am amazing, I will say. Great to have you back as always. And yes, today we're back to the subject of buttercream. It's been a busy day in my kitchen. I have some exciting videos ahead for you. For instance, this is what we've been doing. 1 base batter, 3 different cupcakes. I give you all the tips you need, but that will be a long form video for you to see over the weekend, okay? Right now, let's get to the buttercream we came to do, okay? I mean, do we remember where we were last week when I couldn't stomach the Trex? Well, today we are back again and it is Trex, except this time I'm just pleased that it's not... One second, let me just close this out. Okay, right. I can't see the chat. The YouTube interface is just like, I don't want to be distracted, but I can't see the chat either. Okay. Well, if you were here last week, you would know I couldn't stomach Trex, but I do it for the love of the job. So anyway, it can't always be fun and games. Whilst we're at it, why are we here? Well, we're still discussing the subject of buttercream, a decorative item and an additional cake element that is added to enhance cake, its flavor and structure and everything else in between. It performs different sorts of functions, but there's quite a few of them, and one of the main ingredients in buttercream is butter. And we are on a mission to answer a specific question. Okay, what other fat elements can we replace butter with, and what's the yield and result? So in previous videos, you will see we derived the buttercream using margarine, and then we came back and we derived it using Trex 100%. I'll tell you this though. After we made the Trex video, the piping details, I went and I put the exact tray, the plate with the piping details in my boiler room. And if you know a boiler room, it's hot, right? It's so hot. And I thought I wanted to see how the Trex will hold. Boy, oh boy, Trex didn't bat an eye. It came, like I left it for 2 days because, I mean, I wasn't going to use the... Oh, I keep going Trex. Yeah, the Shortening is the name. Tabitha, thank you. Shortening is the name. Trex is the British brand. I am sorry. If you're watching, I'm confusing you. Essentially, we're trying to make buttercream using shortening, and we tried 100% shortening, and that's what I was saying. It's in a previous video. If you want to see it, you can go and check it. You can go and check it out. But after the video, I took the buttercream that is made from shortening, 100% shortening, put it in my boiler room. And a boiler room is supposed to be hot. Just for comparison, that is where I proof my pizza dough for an hour and then it rises, right? Guess what? The shortening didn't break. I mean, the thing came out still solid. And I'm looking and thinking, wow, this has got some nerve on it. But of course, in terms of taste, it's nothing to take home, all right? So if you're looking for very stable buttercream, 100% shortening is not the answer. Because whilst it will guarantee stability for you, oh, the thing is greasy, it's waxy. I couldn't stomach it. And I mean, I do put a lot of things in my mouth just for you, okay? I eat a lot of cake and I don't need to, and I couldn't even do it. I mean, if you go and see that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So today, we are back talking shortening and butter. I mean, if you're new to cake decorating, or you're used to the subject of cake making, you'll know that most professionals recommend half and half amounts of Trex to butter ratio, just to give you some sort of stability, whilst also employing the good properties of butter to give you a good outcome for your buttercream. So for that matter, we have 250 grams of fat base here. 125 of that is Trex, 125 is butter, and then we have 500 grams of icing sugar here. We have our usual vanilla and a pinch of salt. Of course, the additional ingredient that is so optional is the liquid element that you can add to change the consistency a little bit if you want to adapt it. And that ranges from water, milk, or cream. Depending on your preference and choice, you will have to think about why you're choosing what. For instance, water would thin out the consistency without affecting shelf life and quality for you and storage, whereas milk and cream will reduce the shelf life for you. So that is something to consider, but we're not using any of that because we don't have a need for it just yet. Right now, we just want to make the buttercream and see what the result is in terms of stability, how it pipes, as in the details, and of course, most importantly, taste. Because I always say, if you're compromising taste and the eating experience, you're doing something wrong, right? But you can't always have your way and you can't always win. So I am hoping this will be the best result yet. But if you want to see what margarine is like when you use it for buttercream, and if you want to see what 100% shortening is, we've discussed both in theory form, as in a class format where I hand you all that information. So go watch that video. I don't want to bang on about it at the moment. If you want to know what the difference between butter and shortening, butter is up to about 80% fat. In Europe, you can go up to 82%, and then the rest is water. Because it's natural, like animal product, its flavor and texture, it brings a lot to your buttercream than shortening would do. Shortening is hydrogenated fat, besides the trans fat, which is not like very healthy for us. I try not to discuss the subject of healthy because healthy is subjective, and we live in moderation, not in excesses. So either or isn't the thing. All I'm saying is that this is not great when you, as much as it is great in terms of stability and firmness and pipes, an amazing detail, plus it's plain. Look up the detail in the previous video. It's not great in terms of taste. It's not at all. Okay, so Capita is asking, Gladys, I missed your answer last week, but would you make 1 second. Would you make my decorator icing on a live? It's a stable icing. Sure, Tapeta, yes. I mean, we are mulling through all the options that will guarantee us stability so that we can have an informed choice. So yes, Tabitha, yes, I will be happy to. Do you have the recipe details? I don't know what I'm saying yes to, or at least I don't understand the context. But for you, it's yes. Okay, Tabitha, it's yes. Okay, right. I had some cupcakes baking. They've just finished. I've just taken those out. So yeah, let's go and make the buttercream. It's been a long morning for me. The talking stage. I looked and I think, what is talking stage? And it turns out it's somebody's name. You guys just have the most amazing names in the chat. Like, who gets called what? 1 second. talking stage. Whose name is that? Well, for the quantity, you can use a hand mixer. But for convenience, I am using a stand mixer here. Okay? Let's go and plug that friend in. By the way, how are all of you? Where are you joining us from? The lives are normally a Tuesday through to Friday. I am not here this Friday, and I'm not here on Thursday either. So it's going to be a long weekend without me, but I'm sure you'll see a lot of me today and tomorrow. Because even after this one, I think I'll be back later in the evening. We're going to be baking a red velvet cake. So I'm making up for the 2 days that you're not going to be seeing me. So don't fret, okay? In the meantime, let's start with our buttercream. We're going to start with butter first because of the texture of butter. We want to cream the butter a little bit before we add the shortening, because shortening will break easily. So we have 125 grams of butter in there, and I'm going to go and cream it. I'm going to start on a slow. The quantity is so little that it's almost like, why am I even bothering? Tatiana, good morning, darling. Ah, you made it, didn't you? Was it last Thursday you finished your run? Good to have you back. How are you? Okay, we're going to cream this for about 2 minutes so that it thins out a little bit. The quantity is very little in here. By the way, whilst that is happening, I've been baking all morning and I've been eating lots of cake. So if you wonder what happens to the rest of the cake when I make it, here we are. I'm saving them for my son, because if I eat all this cake, I'll just go to sleep, okay? Okay, that is broken up a little bit. We are still using the exact process that we would make a regular buttercream with all butter, except we've just added the shortening in. So there you go. So now we have 250 grams, which is half and half. 150 grams of butter, 150 grams of shortening. Okay, Tabitha has just put in her decorators. So it's 3.5 cups of powdered sugar, half a cup of shortening, flavoring of choice, 1/4 teaspoon of flour. Right, Tabitha, I will take the recipe, I will look at it closely, and I'll be back for us to make it on a live for next week, because I'm only here today and tomorrow, and I've already planned things we can do. So for next Tuesday, we will be making your recipe here, if that works. Tatiana says, I'm doing all right, not feeling too good. I think I have a head cold, so I haven't been sleeping very good, but I'm taking it a day at a time. Kind of said I haven't worked out in a bit. Oh, darling, hope you feel better. Lots of ginger tea, is it? Tabitha, come and give us some remedy for a head cold for Tatiana. Lots of ginger tea, lots of hacks, and lots of love from the hubby. That should do the trick, darling, okay? I really hope you feel better. A head cold can be a bit awful. Are you working? I hope you're not overworking yourself though. Even though you're not working out, I hope you are taking some time to rest. Whilst we rotate, here is what our butter and shortening looks like. You know what? Can you tell what I'm thinking? If you can tell what I'm thinking in my head, just put it in the chat. Those of you who know us here know us, okay? Let's put the icing sugar in here. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a lot. Okay, let's see. Slow. Okay. Can I see Lollipop? Lollipop is back. Oh, girly. How are you? I think we all want to give you a hug, Tatiana. We want you to feel better, our girls prefect. Okay. Right. There you go. Right. It's mixing in. I have hopes for this thing. It's like dry ice. Yes, because it's the icing sugar. It's the anti-caking ingredient in it. Right. Whilst we're let's add some vanilla. If you've noticed, I have been a bit reluctant to waste my vanilla, but hey, we're here for it. So okay, let's see. Okay, let's go for it. Right, let's try and scrape the sides. I think what I was asking about, what I was thinking is, I like the whole idea of the experiment until I have to taste it and I'll be like, oh, shortening is in the thing though. But it's okay. We're making the buttercream. Surprisingly, I've never had to make shortening buttercream. So this is kind of new for me too. We need some salt. A pinch of salt. Dolly is here. Dolly is here. Dolly is here. Dolly, are you on a break? Hello. Great to have you, my people. If I'm quiet and distracted, it's because this buttercream has got me thinking, okay? Let's get this buttercream done and see where we are at. Dolly, how are you? There we are. Okay. Oh, can you hear the chaos that is going on in my head? Because I'm looking at this and thinking, oh, what's eat this? Okay, let's see. Right, that's The smell of that old oil. Look, Glad, get over it. It's an experiment. You're gonna have to do it. Okay? All right. Now we haven't beaten it too much, so just a few minutes and let's see what the taste is like. I must say, I don't know if it is the brand of shortening I am using, because the Trex and the butter holds its own and the touch of salt kind of balances things out a little bit. I just personally, I can't stomach the aftertaste of the Trex, as in there's a smell about it, like I described it, like it's like oil that has gone off. So I don't know if it's the brand I am using, but it is still very prevalent. The smell is in there, and maybe the truth is, maybe I'm just spoiled. I'm just spoiled because I'm used to your French and Swiss brand buttercream. But I also like to think I have the awareness to know when something is just like not for me, but it's still good. I don't know. The shortening isn't doing it for me, but we are still early. Okay, we are still early. Let's just whip the thing for about 5 minutes and then we can talk about it. Dolly took the day off to deliver a wedding cake. Whoa! Let me just finish this so we can talk about it, okay? Because I want to hear all about it and the stress that you felt. I'd be pleased if you didn't feel stressed, okay? But you know, wedding cakes are stressy. I run away from wedding cakes. Okay, today I tell you my secret, okay? I don't like them. Shortening is definitely falling short, okay? Shortening is falling really. Let's let it whip up for 5 minutes. It's 2:43, so let's give it some time. We are not at 5 minutes yet. It's gone for 2-3 minutes. It's getting lighter. In terms of the color and appearance, it is still solid in terms of the color. It is still holding firm. So let's see what it looks like. It feels like 3 minutes in terms of taste. I mean, I'm not having like a strong reaction to it like I did for the first two buttercream options. And yet again, the prevailing thought for me is the shortening. The shortening is just not doing it for me, okay? So here's what I'll say. Perhaps it's the brand of shortening that I got, which is Trex over here. I don't know about any other brands that I could pick up at the local store. If you're in America, it will be the equivalent of Crisco. And I always say sometimes ingredient composition to a particular item, depending on location, will vary largely. With the way my American audience rave about the use of Crisco in buttercream, something tells me it probably would have yielded better. In terms of structure and appearance, I'm not mad. We have great results here. The buttercream looks firm. Okay, the color is good. I've added vanilla to it. The salt is balanced. I mean, it's not rancid like the other one. Okay, it's not bad, honestly, but the aftertaste is still strong enough for me to feel like if you gave me a cake with this buttercream on it, it will feel like the cake is gone off. Do you know what I mean? So for that alone, the shortening isn't doing it. So, Tabitha, when I looked at your recipe details, here's what I can tell you on top of my head. We'll come back and create that recipe for sure so that you can see what the results are like. I'm so looking forward to it. Here's what I'll tell you from looking at it. Just the recipe details. I haven't looked at the process and technique for deriving it, but I see why it's called the decorator's icing. It has certain ingredients. For instance, the use of flour. I can see flour in there because we talk about Italian buttercream a lot. One of the most stable buttercreams you'll ever come across is what you call ermine, which is the flour pudding buttercream. Okay, it is a good one, but it doesn't cover well on cakes because of the gluten that develops in the flour. So it doesn't cover a cake very well. Let me move this out of the way. It doesn't cover a cake very well. So normally the details of that is left unsaid. Plus it doesn't warm up. For instance, if you store it, you have to bring it back to room temperature. The moment you put it in a microwave, it will gelatinize and then break up and look so goopy and awful, right? And that's what you call the flour pudding or ermine buttercream. So the fact that flour is in your recipe tells me the recipe is trying to employ some of the strongest properties of other ingredients to yield a very stable buttercream. So I have no doubt it will turn out well in terms of structure and how it appears. I don't think it will change my opinion in terms of the outcome for taste. And the simple reason is because it features Trex, it features shortening. I can only have access to Trex at the moment. If I had a different brand of shortening I can choose from, I will choose that and see if it will improve the results for us. But that is based on just observing something and having like some thoughts about it. We'll come back and we will go through it all. And in subsequent videos, we'll also employ some of the tricks that people use to enhance the stability of buttercream, like using white chocolate to balance out the stability, just so that we can see it for ourselves. I mean, I've been baking for a long time, but this is the first time I'm trying some of these things just so that I can know for myself how the results are like. Because I've never had a need for ever using Trex. The only time I use Trex is for fondant work. And that's because it's used as a fat base to help fondant be pliable, okay? So I use it and you just need a little bit of it. So I have never had a need for shortening. So everything I know about shortening is from a very theoretical point of view, like reading and researching. So it's quite fascinating for me personally, getting to do the thing and realizing that, oh, okay, this is what it really is like, and I can speak from that experience. Okay, yeah, okay, so you can get Flora White or Cooking. Maybe I have to try the Cooking brand because Trex is not doing it for me at the moment. Hello, lovely.
Hello.
Switch that camera off for me, please.
Switch it off, yeah?
Just turn it off there. Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you. There you go. So yeah. If it means I have to go looking for Cooking, I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah. Tap it up. Never you mind. Let's see. Let me just turn this off too. 1 second. Yeah, never you mind. We are here now. So yep, butter is better. So like I've always said, I'm not even going to continue with this anymore because yeah, by observation, frankly, by observation, there's no doubt that it will yield well in terms of texture. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll leave it as that. And then in my spare time, I will get it creamed properly, add some water to thin it out, and then I'll probably employ it to cover a cake. I guess if you ever use any shortening that doesn't have the same results as I feel right now for this one, you can turn it into a chocolate cake because then the chocolate cake, chocolate buttercream. Did I say chocolate cake? Because I've got chocolate cake here. Sorry. You can turn it into some other stronger flavored buttercream, and the reason is you would hope that the other flavors will mask this the strong flavor of the Trex. But it's only one brand. You can get something else. So hopefully I can try another brand and then we'll see. But in terms of structure, I think it's going to be fine because it still looks steady. Okay. The Trex just tastes so stale. Okay. It's not as overpowering as when we made it with the 100% shortening, but it just tastes so stale. I just feel like, well, if we wanted to find out, we know now. Okay, so the question that is kind of like front of mind for me is, why would anyone put this on a cake though? Oh, okay. Tabitha, did you say in the US you can buy flavored Crisco? Is that the case? You see? That's why I always say you Americans are lucky in many ways. See? We just have this bland thing. And I bet you any money, the ways by which Trex or Crisco is produced for you guys may differ from here. Which is why we have this stale thing that, oh, it's wasted my time. So, yeah, we tried it. Now I'm stood here, like I have so many questions. If you think of my head, if you feel like my thoughts are not coherent, that's exactly what I'm going on in my head. Because I'm thinking, for those people who kind of want to say, oh, you can use Trex, have they tried it or they're just following recommendations? Because I'll tell you for nothing right now, I will never recommend Trex for buttercream for anyone. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because why would you, right? Why would you? I would rather not make the cake. For instance, if someone wanted a cake on a sunny day and the cake was going to melt, like, I'll tell you this for nothing. As a cake baker, right? I have turned down cakes that, if I gave you the reason, you'll be like, why are you so precious? Because And it's not that I'm precious. It's just that I just recognize that some things are not just worth doing. And just because you have the chance doesn't mean you should. For instance, as a business, I recognize that when I say that from a place of privilege, but it's not privilege, because it's not like I'm not losing money. Look, the business hardly makes any money, and that's because like I am very particular about the things that are important to me, and also serving the customer need. So for instance, I'll bet you any money there will not, like, I will not die on the hill of compromising. I will die on the hill of not ever wanting to compromise taste and quality just because I want to satisfy customer interest. I could as well just say no to the cake, and then you go to the next person. The simple reason being, if for instance, okay, if Trex was the only product, as in the only shortening brand that could guarantee me a steady cupcake, then I will never make that cake then. Because it just, the taste of it just doesn't make sense to me why I will put that on a cake for anybody. And that's not a precious thing, because the goal of my business started because I just wanted to enjoy a great cake. So you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, those people who are out here recommending Trex for buttercream, have they tried it themselves? If I'm wrong, tell me. Like, am I crazy? Lollipop, you found something. What did you find? Did you find Crisco? Because I'll be up here in Amazon doing this. Right? Tell me, Lollipop, that there is Crisco in the UK. Because I'll be all up in that shop. Because Trex has got me wasting money out here and I'm not happy. Hi, Monica. How are you? People. Anyway, Dolly, Tatiana, hope you are feeling better. I know I've been carried away by my chatty buttercream. Okay, there's butter flavor. Oh, Lollipop, better link it to me via email. Come on now. I am going shopping for butter flavored shortening. If you have to create butter flavor shortening though, like vanilla okay. Lollipop, is that on Amazon? I need to get scrubbing and listening. That's okay. Right. So my people, shortening and it, just leave that stuff alone. But if you get a brand of shortening and you disagree with my taste profile, come back and tell us. Come back and challenge me and tell me, right? Come back and let us know. Is Dolly still here? Dolly, let's talk the wedding cake. You took the day. People get married on a Wednesday. Is it? Look at me. It's a Tuesday. Oh. Anyway, Dolly, I'm waiting. So you guys get, yeah, you guys, yeah, the wedding. Okay. Dolly, tell us all about this wedding cake and how long it took you to finish it, and what the most stressful aspect was. What is the thing that excited you about the process and everything else? They said it's less expensive on, yes, that's for sure. Yeah, weddings on a weekday is less expensive. Okay, right. but it's also like the thought of, well, I guess if you had a wedding on a weekday, you know it's going to be a very like quiet, very Tabitha, you got married. That was a long time ago, honey. Okay, that was a very long time ago. And yes, I know you had a cake that mom paid for, and you went fast here. We're not talking about you. No, yeah, it's okay. A Tuesday. You know what? Thinking about a Tuesday wedding or a weekday, it must just feel so personal and so quiet. And whoever makes it for your wedding that day is really, really, really somebody you care about, isn't it? Because you think people would choose work and choose their lives and do other things, because then socially we allocate the weekends for those stuff. So if someone has to take a day off from work to come to your wedding on a weekday, that person really must mean a lot to you, and you must mean a lot to them. Monica, you need a recipe for the cow. Fear not, girl. I've got you covered, okay? First of all, I could tell you now, but that doesn't make any good reason here. When we finish this live, right, go on the channel page. There's a cupcake video right uploaded on Saturday. So it's 3 days in. If you look at the long form content, it has everything you need. And it is the same base recipe that I adapted to yield these ones, okay? Go have a look. And if the long form, because I try to edit my long form with all the information in, so they seem a little bit long-winded, but the pace is great for you to kind of sit through. It's I think it's about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes video, and it has everything from ingredients. Why I try to explain why I choose the ingredients also. So I will tell you, but that will be a deviation. So just go check on that video. It's up there. It has all the details and everything you need. Plus, you get to see the process that I use as well. So good luck with that. But if you do that and you have more questions, come back. Additional information. If you see that video and you kind of feel like, oh, I'm missing something, look, I've produced the same video in live formats. My cupcake recipe is a standard recipe. We don't gatekeep here. We'll give you the recipe if you care to know. So all of that, you'll find it in long form, which is already up on the channel and then on the lives. So I took the same recipe and then I derived an Oreo cupcake, a chocolate cupcake, and a vanilla cupcake. That video is coming out on the weekend for you to see. I have a very busy week ahead of me, but the goal is to go back to simple basic baking so that I can give you my own. I mean, these videos are not new, okay? I'm not reinventing the wheel here. There are other creators who have created them time and again, but I hope I bring you a different perspective to these videos, because I'll tell you this. I like the idea of a base recipe yielding different or assorted cupcake options. I'll tell you this for nothing. I don't like the idea of making it look like you can take a cupcake one recipe and change it all up. It's not that simple, because sometimes the base recipe doesn't convert to a little more complex flavors, if you like. I'll explain. Why have we ended up here? Well, it's because I have a tray of cupcakes and the video is coming up, and I didn't feel like I was able to explain very much in the video, because I also I didn't want to make it long-winded. So when you have one cupcake, when you have one cake or cake batter that yield different ones, the trick is to make sure that you are not altering the base flavor. For instance, this is a general vanilla cupcake recipe. The core ingredients that could convert this recipe to a chocolate cake without adverse result for you was either sour cream or creme fraiche or buttermilk, which is important because you need the buttermilk to work with your chocolate to give you a rich flavor. But most of the time when you see these recipes, one butter, different cupcakes, it's more like they make the butter and they say add this to that. This butter will not convert very well to red velvet if you don't know what you're doing. So essentially, I wanted to make this completely beginner friendly. So instead of just pouring cocoa powder into a vanilla cake recipe, what I did was I developed a cocoa powder paste, which was bloomed with coffee and creme fraiche on the side, which was then added to a vanilla butter base to create a nice chocolate cupcake. Now, when you see, here's the chocolate cupcake. I broke them on the live, on the video, just to see. Look, we have a very, it's not lightly textured, but it's not dense either. It's somewhere in between. Okay, so you have body, it yields well, and it pairs well with a good buttercream option. And yet the same cupcake yields a very light textured, but still rich cupcake for your Oreos, because all we did was add Oreos to it. But then it remained a vanilla with just a jammy dodger. I mean, when the video comes out, you'll get to see it, but it's the same recipe. If you've been here before, our goal here is to create adaptable recipes, because a lot of us are beginners, or we don't have time. Like, I am a baker, but I don't have time. Okay, I need to be quick and out over here, right? So I don't need a precious recipe. I just need a recipe that I can tweak around. It's up on the channel. Okay, all right, let's go and see what's happening over there. Ah, Monica, thank you. Whew. Right. Dolly said, I baked the cake on this Saturday, followed and crumb coated it on Sunday morning, final coated on Sunday evening, flowers on Monday evening after work, and delivered it today. You baked it on Saturday. Saturday, what time did you bake the cake? Why do you leave? I know you work full time, so sometimes you have to make accommodation for that. But why do you bake the cake? For a wedding cake, you're better off just baking on a Friday, you know. But it's a preference thing. It's a preference thing. There's really, but it's a preference thing. But for a wedding cake, do you not find that when you bake fresh, the 24 hours, like say, unless you baked it Saturday morning and then you had to fill and crumb coat on Sunday morning, which gives you a full 24 hours. I just find that the cake is just too delicate to handle. And for wedding cakes, I need time, sis. I told you. I told you I ran away from wedding cakes, you know. If I make you a wedding cake, it means I really, really care about you. Saturday morning. Okay, so you baked it Saturday morning. Is it a big cake? It's how many tiers? I'm just waiting for an answer over there. So yeah, Monica, if you go and see the recipe and you have questions, come back and talk to us. We'll be happy to have you. Okay, do you bake? And where are you joining us from, by the way? Thank you for being here today. It's great to have you. It's always nice to have new people and new faces. And yeah, we are a happy bunch here. We enjoy baking. We yap a lot. Well, I yap a lot. Let's see, I'm just trying to get in the chat. 2 tiers, 8 and 10. Oh, okay, congratulations. I mean, the confidence you have to kind of make a wedding cake turn around so quickly. Me, I'll be sitting here complaining mentally until like I have to get up and go. And an 8 and a 10. How many layers of each tier? Well, how many servings in total? How many servings in total? Because 8 and 10, that's a huge cake though, isn't it? 10-inch will serve anything between, depending on how many layers you have, you're looking at a minimum of 42, a maximum of nearly 60. And then you have the 18. How many layers each tier? Four layers each. So, you know what? I'm just curious. For a serving of 110, right? That is the maximum number. Why did you choose an 8 and a 10? Is that what the bride wanted? Because you would think any servings over 60, I will tier it. As in, I will break the tier. So any servings over 60 is definitely going to be a 3-tier cake instead of a 2. So why? I'm just curious. Oh, that's what the bride wanted. Okay. I tell you the thing that is going off in my head. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm weird about cakes, right? There is something about visual proportions that kind of confuses my brain, or it just doesn't, it kind of creates a bit of like, it creates a bit of chaos in my head. Like when I think about a 10-inch 4-layered cake with an 8-inch 4-layered cake sitting on it, all I can think of is a cake and a skirt. Not about you, Dolly. I'm just trying to explain what I think about when it comes to servings and proportions. So a 10-inch, all I can think about is a big old lady with a big skirt. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. So, but you know what? The customer interest always stands, so that's okay. As long as they were happy and you weren't stressed. I mean, the delivery of that cake. Then again, if you made that cake a 2-tiered travel, that would be less stressful than if you made it into a 3-tiered cake. So it's neither here nor there, right? Tapeta and Lollipop, don't encourage me, okay? I mean, I'm a creative person, so I see things in a way that I know is not normal to most people. And if I told you everything, sometimes that confuses my brain. You'll be like, oh God, you're weird. Like there are things I see and I can't unsee it, but nobody else. So no, in my cake making career, I've made a 10 and a 7-inch. Yes, but those were 3 layers. So I've made a 7-inch 3-layered cake and a 10-inch 3-layered, so that the proportions, all you can see is a straight sitting cake like this. But the 10 and 8, the 8 almost feels like you have a 2. I mean, only a cake maker knows this, right? You have a 2-inch gap between the 8 and the 10, and the proportions just will confuse me. It's a preference thing, okay? Lollipop. Lollipop says we're weird. I don't know. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. Yeah, it's what buttercream was. What filling? What flavors were the cake, Dolly? Rio will be happy with his cupcakes. The gap between mine is only, is it 1 inch, you mean? Dolly, I missed something. You said the gap between mine is only 1 p.m. I don't think I catch that. A carrot cake. Dolly, let me not hear you come and tell me how cake making can be a bit. You're out here making carrot cake in 10 inches. Ugh. That is the stuff for gods, okay? Congratulations. Like me and carrot cake, because carrot cake, the way it bakes, no, I am making a 10-inch carrot cake. 1 inch. Have we missed something? Because this is what I was trying to explain. Let me just get this cake board, right? This is a 12-inch cake drum, right? So think of this as a 10-inch cake and the 8-inch here. The gap between when the cake is sitting on the next one, you should have 2 inches. So how did you end up with 1? If it's a 10 and an 8. Does that mean you covered an inch of ganache? Am I missing something? Dolly, you've given me something to think about. Let me just try and fix this for you. Where's my 10-inch pan? Right, okay. I can't be asked to go look for my 10-inch pan, but this is what I was saying. This is an 8-inch and this is a 6-inch, right? So the gap here should be 2 inches. Why do you have, so if you have a 10 and an 8, which is if this was, the gap still here should be 2. So why do you have 1? I'm just curious. Maybe I just had to demonstrate it so that I can clarify what I'm saying or thinking. I'm only asking because I'm just curious, okay? Don't. Does that mean, did you understand what I was saying about the 2 inches here? Because if you have 1 inch here, it is either you had more covering on it that edged out of the size of the cake. Is that the case? Okay, fantastic. You do. Okay, you do, please. Okay, all right. Wow. Okay, I'm now curious. What must have left? See how we quickly go into the rabbit hole talking cakes? Because if, see what I'm thinking. Okay, I'll wait and I'll see the picture and then we can talk about it. That's just fine. Okay, so yeah, I think for me personally, I can do an 8 and a 6. I can do a 7 and a 5 because something about the visual element of it and how the cake is appeals to me. If I had 8 and 10, the cake would just look wide and broad. And for me, it's like visually, it's just not pleasing. But it's a personal thing. Ultimately, the client chose their cake. Oh, okay. Dolly, the 8-inch cake pan is more than 8-inch. What cake pans are you using? Are you using the black ones or you're using some other ones? Are you using because if you're using PME tins, 8-inch is 8-inch, right? In fact, you don't get more. What happens is that by the time you trim the cake, you get just a tiny bit less, and then you fill the gap up with buttercream. So what am I missing again? Anyway, don't worry. Send me the picture and then we can talk about it, lovely. Okay? That's just said. People, I will be back. I'll be back, I'm hoping, sometime later this evening. I couldn't tell you a time. It should be between 6 and 8 p.m. because we are back to bake a red velvet cake, which is what we will be decorating with. Oh, it's from Lakeland. Send me the picture and let's talk about it. Because if your cake pans are not to size, you are doing more work than you need. Plus, you're losing more butter than you need. It's small little things, but it adds up to cost for you. Plus, if it's not to size, then you have to work it to size. And that always affects how polished your cake might look. If you're okay with the outcome of the design, that is completely fine. But it's something to note that your pans will determine how much work you take on in the aftermath of the baking. Okay? For instance, if you are making a square cake and your square has like round corners and it's not to size, it is just hard for you to get a polished look to it. But if you're okay with it, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it's just a small detail, but it's worth noting. Because if it's more, it's like you're giving the customer more than they need, right? Why should you? Girl, you can't be out here losing money. Oh, okay, you charge more for it. Good. Because you shouldn't be losing money, honey. Okay? But yeah, you charge for it. So I'm looking over there and thinking, where's my friend Albert? I thought that's our little friend Albert. But anyway, yeah, send me the photo and we can talk about it. People, I'll be back talking red velvet later. But for now, we can all agree that Trex or shortening in buttercream is just not... Don't do it, honey. Don't do it. It's not. It ain't it. Okay? Happy baking. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.